Hello folks, so this is take two. I recorded the first video for 13 minutes without any volume on. Interesting. So I hope take two that I've got a little bit more sound on. So as you're coming on replay or on live, do feel free actually to introduce yourself, because that's the most social etiquette thing to do, so that I can acknowledge you for connecting with me, and so that I can also say hello. It would also help me to know where you're checking in from. So where I'm checking in from is, look at my view in the background. Okay, so I'm by the seaside today on the coast in the UK. And my name is Chico if you're coming across my video for the first time. And I mainly talk about lifestyle business matters as well as digital marketing. So what's in, what's new, and innovative practices as well. So the thing that came to mind for me today was about adding people and increasing audiences just for the sake of wanting to show that you've got significant numbers, or for publicity's sake, and whether that's working anymore. Also, a question offered to you: is it serving your business well? And if it is, I'm curious to know how well it's serving you. So I'm of the school of thought that it is better to develop relationships with people so that it's a mutually beneficial exchange, rather than just adding people for the sake of numbers as well. So I've never been one to seek popularity, even when I was like in high school. Yeah, let's go back to high school days. I never sought popularity. I never wanted to be popular. I just thought, I used to tell people that I like all the rainbow colors. So that meant that I liked people from all walks of life. I didn't hang out with a specific popular crowd just for the sake of it. And when I used to gravitate towards different people, just in terms of whether we were like minds, and if there was something that interested me and mutually beneficial, then yeah, I would stick to it, but not for popularity's sake. So the same thing translates into social media. For some reason, it is seen as though it's great to have significant numbers, but my school of thought is, if you have significant numbers and nobody's interacting with you, how well is it serving you? If you're doing it for fun and you want people to like you, then no problem with that. But what I'm talking about is business owners, small business owners, people who are aspiring entrepreneurs, and you're looking to have a long-term sustainable and financially viable business. I've talked about inbound marketing before in my other live sessions. So if you're seeing this video on my public profile, I'm on Build a Lifestyle Business page, and I do have information on inbound marketing. You see that video. So inbound marketing is basically the new age method of inbound marketing, rather than cold approach. So that's like outbound, where you're cold calling people. That's no longer in fashion, and it's the same practice on social media. You want to have this gravitational pull towards you, where people voluntarily come towards you because of either your profile or the messages that you are sharing, and that's through content creation. So content creation can be through different types of formats. It can be like now, the way we're engaging via video, via audio, via the content that you create yourself. Once in a while, I'll post like quotes, but I haven't created those. You want to develop your own content over time, so that you then become a standalone person in terms of your knowledge base. Okay, so as the social media, there's billions of people on here. You will never be at a loss of attracting people. Okay, so people panic and think that, oh, if they don't have like significant numbers, let me just see, try and take off like my headphones and see if that works better. Hopefully it will. so that I'm not recording for the second time. Okay, but in the background you probably hear like sounds of like waves. It's although it's sunny, the waves are like very active. Yes, so there is no rush. It's more about developing your specialism so that people develop their own attraction towards you, and no like and trust factor. So this also applies in sending messages to people. The interesting ones that I get is people ask me things like, where are you from? What do you do? Then I think you really haven't invested time in actually looking at my profile. Because time is so precious, and the reason why most of us are connecting on social media, we're connecting because of business or collaborations, or also for to help people, you know, prospective clients. So when people send me chatty messages, because I've got like a short attention span, I tend to think you really haven't invested time. So if you really want to develop like a process where you've got like a lucrative business, what you want to be able to do is spend time looking at the individual that you want to connect, their profile, get to know them, also look at the content, and then engage with them. Then it shows that you've actually gone out of your way to get to know that individual. Okay, so this learning process, you know, it takes a little bit of time to know. And some people might also think that maybe my approach is a little bit rude when I say that my intention for being on here is to connect with people I want to collaborate with, or people who are potentially looking for help. There's a reason for that, because I think sometimes people connect because they think that you want to develop like a chatty relationship. So when you get all those messages, it can be overwhelming, and time again is of essence. It's of essence. So it's about cutting out the threads of like chatty messages and just getting to the point, really. Okay, so that was like one key of like messaging, getting to know the person first, then moving on into the adding people onto your business page. Okay, so do you want to add people onto your business page just for the sake of adding them, and how well is it serving you? Or would you rather have people who have voluntarily come onto your business page or your public profile page because they're interested in knowing you? What that does, the later one, is that the people who voluntarily come towards you, that's inbound, then that means that they've been drawn to you for specific reasons. There could be people who have been on Google, on YouTube, or you know, on the internet somewhere searching, and they've come across what you've created, and they have been looking for like a solution. And your content is something that they've gravitated towards. So those are the types of people that you want to connect with, because the likelihood is that they are your ideal people that you could potentially be able to then offer a solution to. So it's not necessarily about rushing through the process so that you can make as many sales as possible, because when it's cold, the likelihood is that the business won't last very long. Okay, so gone are the days of just adding people for the sake of adding them and for the numbers. You want to build something that you yourself are learning, and learning through content creation, and trusting that even if people don't comment on your post, it's not about the popularity contest, because there are people who have said to me, sent me messages, and they have been like reading my messages for 6 months, they haven't said anything. There's always somebody who's out there reading your information. So trust that you've got the skills and the ability to be able to develop that skill, where your business, no matter what business it is, you are educated enough to share information with people that adds value for them, that offers them a solution that they might be looking for, or they might not even know that this is the solution that they were looking for. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share today, and I hope at least the volume on this one has worked. Let me know what's your approach in terms of social media management and how well that's working for you, and what you think the best approach nowadays is that will serve you well, add value in your business, and also add the attraction factor for people. And lastly, I'll leave you with this: the people that gravitate towards you, they in the long term, what they end up doing is like, you also want to have like an automated customer acquisition process, obviously keeping in mind the GDPR new policies and laws, so that people have the opportunity to opt into what you have to offer. So they're doing that voluntarily, and also knowing that you're going to potentially be communicating with them, adding more value via your email sequencing. Okay, and building a list is still not dead. Okay, so that's where the financial viability of your business comes from. It might come from like Messenger, but the likelihood is that people don't automatically invest into something immediately. It takes time for some people to actually invest. So what they would rather do is get to know you like over time, and then they might be motivated by something that you've had to share and feel like they've connected with that. And that can also happen through your email sequencing process as well. Okay, the know, like, and trust factor continues in that sense. So then the ending clause of inbound marketing is about having people who then voluntarily become people who advocate on your behalf, because they're so delighted by the service that you've provided that they become almost like your cheerleaders. Although I don't like to call it that, but that's just the analogy that's come to mind. They become people who go out and share information and say you must go to this person because they know what they're talking about. So that's how you want to have a business model that develops like that. It may take you 6 months, a year, 2 years. That is fine. We're looking for long term. Bye for me for now. I could go on.